Usually when you ask a Naruto fan which fight is your favorite one in the series, they're probably gonna say something along the lines of Naruto vs. Pain, Naruto vs. Sasuke, either in part 1 or 2, Gaara vs. Rock Lee, Kakashi vs. Obito, and those are all very amazing fights, don't get me wrong. However, there's a fight that I think, well, is not underrated, but sometimes overlooked. And that fight is the climactic battle between Sasuke and Itachi, the fated duel between brothers. As I said, this fight is not disliked by the fan, much in the contrary. People tend to love this fight, but they never put it high up in the S-tier fights in the universe, most of the time at least. And there are several reasons why other fights are usually preferred over this one, but I would like to talk about why Sasuke vs. Itachi is in fact one of the best, if not the best fight in the entire series. First, there's a lot of build-up to this fight. Sasuke's character has revolved around this moment in his life for the entirety of the series, essentially. This is his final goal, and of course, this fight was set up ever since Sasuke was introduced, almost. Of course, we didn't know about Itachi in the first chapter Sasuke appeared, but it was very much in his character when he said to Kakashi, when they were introducing themselves, "There's a particular man I will kill." And that's it. The fight was established very early on, so of course when the fight arrives and you're watching it unfold, you're just in disbelief. This is actually happening. It was set up so long ago and now we're getting the fight. I remember when I watched it for the first time in like 2010 when it was coming out, and I just had this surreal feeling. I didn't really believe what I was watching. Wow, Sasuke, grown up in Naruto Shippuden is actually fighting Itachi seriously, and they're going at it. But this is just a hype factor. Before the fight even starts, everyone's anticipating what's gonna happen. And when it starts, it's great. But one of the reasons why people tend to prefer other battles is because this is not the most high-octane fight in Naruto. Like take Rock Lee vs. Gaara or Obito vs. Kakashi. Those had very quick exchanges, hype sequences of overpowering the opponent through sheer emotion and just guts, and this tends to strike a chord with anyone reading or watching the fight. Itachi vs. Sasuke, on the other hand, starts off very differently. The two characters do have a taijutsu exchange in the beginning, however, it's first this game of genjutsu. Itachi catches Sasuke on a genjutsu, but no, Sasuke actually caught Itachi. But no, Itachi actually caught Sasuke, but actually no, Sasuke, and it's this amazing game. They're just one-upping each other with genjutsu, and you just get the feeling, yeah, this is how Uchihas with mastery over the Sharingan and absolute prowess over genjutsu would fight against each other, and we never really see anything like that before or after this fight, such a layered battle of genjutsu. And it's so iconic when Itachi reaches out for Sasuke's forehead after Sasuke pierces through him, and he doesn't tap Sasuke's forehead, he actually points towards himself sitting on the throne. And this pointing thing is actually setting up the final panel of the fight where Itachi actually touches Sasuke's forehead, mimicking what he always did to Sasuke before. Of course, we get some exposition. Itachi tells Sasuke about the past of the Uchiha clan and Madara and how he is going to become the true heir of the Uchiha clan, getting Sasuke's eyes, and not Madara because he's not deserving. He also tells Sasuke that Madara's alive, well, quote-unquote Madara, but still. It's interesting lore, and it makes sense for it to be delivered here, but there's also the subtext. In hindsight, Itachi's actions here are so interesting. He is guiding Sasuke towards a path he would want Sasuke to follow after his death. Now, Itachi actually wants Sasuke to get his Mangekyou. Itachi believes that eventually Sasuke will awaken his Mangekyou, and then he doesn't want Sasuke to go blind. So yeah, tell Sasuke the story. Also, tell Sasuke that Madara Uchiha literally attacked the Leaf Village with a nine-tailed fox to just make sure Sasuke's not going to be hanging around with him afterwards. And it's so interesting because before the fight even starts, Itachi asks Sasuke, "You've grown, but these Itachi's eyes, how much can they actually see? And this statement, after you know what happened, it makes so much sense. Sasuke actually didn't see anything. He didn't have any idea of what was going on during that fight, what actually motivated Itachi and why they were fighting from Itachi's perspective. This entire theme of Sasuke unlocking more sight, metaphorically, still continues throughout Naruto Shippuden. When he awakens the EMS, he says, "I can see well in darkness now." And that prompts Sasuke to find himself, asking the Hokages, what's a village, what's a shinobi? And then he changes his mind about destroying the Leaf Village. But this is way later in the story. We're talking about Sasuke versus Itachi here, the fight that actually sparks that change in Sasuke's character. When Itachi talks about the Forsaken Destiny and just the curse that afflicts the Uchiha clan, forced to kill family members, friends, in order to unlock greater powers, he's doing that in a way that makes Itachi himself seem a little bit crazy, but actually, he is speaking the truth, because he has been cursed with that. Itachi himself was forced to kill the entire clan. He was forced to play this role of an absolute scumbag for Sasuke to survive. When you read over Itachi's dialogue again after knowing what happened to him, it's so good. This fight takes a new meaning. And then, of course, there is the massive shuriken exchange scene. It's just cool to see this coming back here, because the Uchiha were known for the prowess they had in shuriken jutsu, which is the control and just the usage of weapons during fights. And when a billion shurikens clash, it's a little bit silly, I have to be honest, because, well, it's shurikens. They usually don't do anything very useful in the show, but, you know, the panel looks so good. And yeah, it's not as exciting as other fights, maybe, but it is still very interesting. Of course, there's another very great scene where Itachi puts Sasuke under Tsukuyomi, which is a big problem because we've seen how Tsukuyomi works. Now, we didn't actually know Sasuke was under Tsukuyomi until Sasuke broke out of it. That was kind of like the surprise in that moment in the fight. But I would argue this makes things even better. When Itachi used Tsukuyomi against Kakashi, he made it very clear, yes, Kakashi, you are under a genjutsu, and I am going to torture you for the next 3 days. For Sasuke, on the other hand, Itachi's Tsukuyomi was much more subtle. He made the reality around Sasuke much more feasible and realistic than that hellish realm he put Kakashi under, and he wanted to show Sasuke, yes, I am going to collect your eye. This is what you have to do in the future with my eye, understand, Sasuke? Adding even more subtext to the fight. Now, we don't know for certain what was Itachi's plan here if Sasuke wasn't able to break out of the Tsukuyomi. Some people say that Itachi let Sasuke break out of it on purpose, but the data book kinda contradicts that, saying that Sasuke had the power to break away of the Tsukuyomi, but Itachi probably had something up his sleeve should Sasuke not be able to do anything, because Itachi kind of underestimated Sasuke in the fight. He wasn't expecting Sasuke to pull something like Kirin afterwards. In any event, when Sasuke breaks out, Itachi loses his tempo because Tsukuyomi takes so much chakra. And then there's this very nice exchange where Sasuke tosses 2 shurikens with a Shadow Shuriken Jutsu and breaks them with his wire, actually piercing Itachi's leg and dealing some damage for the first time. This is impressive, actually, and the first time it ever happens in the story. Itachi gets damaged. And Itachi has always been the type of villain that seems untouchable and just out of anybody's reach. Now, you could say that in the fight against Kakashi, Naruto, Itachi lost because Naruto nailed him with a Rasengan, but that wasn't even him. That was just a body double, a fake out. It's like destroying an Itachi shadow clone. It doesn't really matter. This was the very first time we saw Itachi getting hurt, when Itachi gets pierced by the shuriken. And this tells the audience, you know, this guy here, he can be killed. It's actually much more interesting if you see that the antagonist can be defeated, because if the antagonist is completely unbeatable, then, well, it's not that much fun. You don't get as invested because, yeah, no, the protagonist is just going to lose anyway, why should I care? But here we see, okay, this guy, if he bleeds, we can kill him. And after this, there is this amazing clash between fireballs. Sasuke and Itachi aim a fireball at each other, And this is really cool. We never really saw anything like it before, save maybe for the Kakashi vs. Zabuza Water Dragon clash. But this is fire, it's different, and it's the staple jutsu of the Uchiha clan. It makes so much sense for this clash to be in this fight between the two last Uchihas. I mean, there's Obito too that's alive, but still. It's something I would say not as iconic as the Rasengan Chidori clash, but it comes close to it because the way this exchange ends is one of the coolest things ever. Amaterasu was only used once before this fight, when Itachi used it to escape Jiraiya's frog's stomach in Naruto Part 1, and we just got a glimpse of the dark flames and that they were extremely powerful. But now we learn that these flames can extinguish literally anything they touch, and that if Itachi has the most powerful illusion jutsu in one of his eyes, he has the most powerful physical jutsu in the other one. So Amaterasu is no joke whatsoever. And then Itachi does one of the coolest things in the series. He extinguishes fire with fire. He uses Amaterasu on Sasuke's fireball because Sasuke was actually beating him in the exchange. And the panel when Itachi ignites the Amaterasu against Sasuke's flames is just one of the best panels in the series. We see this jutsu for the first time in its full glory, and it doesn't really disappoint. Itachi wants to push Sasuke to his limit so that Orochimaru can come out. This is one of Itachi's big priorities during this fight. And he actually hits Sasuke with Amaterasu. Now, some people say, wait, hold on. What would have happened if Sasuke didn't have the Orochimaru-style substitution jutsu to escape the Amaterasu when it hit his curse mark wing? And I say, well, Itachi probably knew he would do that, and he definitely knew he had Orochimaru's powers, so he was like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna be very rough on Sasuke. We have to do this quick. I'm not going to last very long here. Itachi had a disease. He wasn't really going to survive this fight anyway. But Sasuke substitutes, and then he uses a jutsu that impresses even Itachi. He wasn't expecting Kirin to come from the sky and target him, destroying the entire hideout. And Kirin is just one of the coolest jutsus in the series. I mean, it looks great. The concept behind the jutsu is also amazing. Sasuke had to create fire, using Itachi's own Amaterasu and his flames to make a tempest cloud that would yield lightning, and then he would tame the lightning. And even though Sasuke had barely any chakra left, he would just use the storm and direct that entire blast of electricity towards Itachi, an attack nobody can avoid, just like Amaterasu. You just get a sense of epicness when hearing those things. Attacks that cannot be dodged, and then Amaterasu is used, Kirin is used, two of the coolest jutsus being used back to back is just a sight to behold. Itachi manages to survive Kirin because of the Susanoo, and that's another introduction of an iconic jutsu in the series. First, Itachi literally says, yeah, if I didn't have that, I would have died. And this would have been terrible for Itachi because he wouldn't have taken out Orochimaru out of Sasuke's body, and his plans would have kind of failed. But then again, he manages to survive using the Susanoo, which becomes the staple of the series, to destroy Orochimaru in like 0.2 seconds. In very good Itachi fashion, because this is what happened before and this is what happened, in the present day. And Itachi just keeps on playing his role, pretending he is the bastard brother that destroyed the Uchiha clan, chasing after Sasuke's eyes until he dies. Not before touching Sasuke's forehead and just mimicking what he's been doing to Sasuke ever since we first saw a flashback between the two. Maybe next time, Sasuke. But of course, when Itachi dies, he says, "This is the last time," with a smile on his face. This is very poetic and interesting to see. Of course, Itachi also does that to pass on a bit of his powers to Sasuke so that when he meets with Obito, Sasuke uses Amaterasu against him and almost kills him. Itachi really had everything planned out, and this fight was just orchestrated by him. Everything went how Itachi wanted it to go. He wanted Sasuke to feel like, yeah, he was the one who killed Itachi, even though he kind of just died. This is one of the parts of the fights people tend not to be extremely fans of, like Itachi just falls and dies. It does seem a little bit anticlimactic, and I, for one, am not a fan of the anime sickness trope. Sometimes it can be done well, but I think it wasn't terribly necessary here for Itachi. Now, this is the justification as to why Itachi would, just let himself be killed by Sasuke in the situation, because if you think about it, Itachi being alive would have made a lot of difference during the events of Naruto Shippuden afterwards. He could have been a very powerful ally of the Leaf Village, even though they wouldn't know he was an ally. So they needed an actual reason for Itachi willingly let himself die, and yeah, just give him chakra disease or whatever. Something I'm not a really big fan of, but still, I think that Itachi dying, just, collapsing down and not having a final impactful moment for the fight is one of the other factors as to why people don't rank this fight as high as others previously mentioned here. And even though what happens during the fight, Kirin, Amaterasu, Susanoo, their genjutsu exchange, those things are amazing and they make so much sense for the fight, for the themes, and for the characters, but this fight has a different pacing. It's slower than a couple of other fights, it's more analytical, and let's be fair, these types of things don't really make for a good TikTok reel, so yeah, there's not gonna be a lot of people watching TikTok reels about Sasuke versus Itachi, but Obito versus Kakashi, my god. And another reason why this fight doesn't stand out as others in the series is that the revelation after this fight is so bombastic that it kinda overshadows the fight itself, because Itachi's plot twist is very shocking for first-time viewers, and then they're just gonna be like, wait, hold on, I have to rationalize this. What happened here? And then you're gonna go over every single one of Itachi's actions ever since part 1, thinking about it. And the fight, sure, it was very recent, but you're going to think about the entire story much more holistically. And I love Itachi's plot twist, I have nothing against it. As a matter of fact, the fight and the plot twist are part of the same arc, essentially. It's basically a continuation of the fight. If you don't have the plot twist, then the fight's not really complete. You need to know the information about Itachi's true intentions to understand the fight completely, which is a good thing because it gives nice rewatchability to the fight, and it gives Sasuke further motivation to pursue other goals, and the character keeps on developing. Sure, he turns much darker and the character regresses as a person because now his goals are worse. He wants to destroy the Leaf Village, but it is interesting and compelling to see. Itachi's death being a little anticlimactic is very much on purpose because the story didn't end there. Itachi's reasons are still up in the air. Even when Sasuke realizes, okay, Itachi died, he kinda has no emotion. He's just like blank, staring at nowhere, and this is kind of the feeling one would get after achieving his revenge and kinda losing purpose in life. Itachi's last battle, at least while he was alive, played out exactly how his entire life played out up until this moment. It was a show of deception. Itachi was playing the role of the villain just like he did during the days of the Leaf Village and the Uchiha clan massacre to save Sasuke, his brother, the only person he couldn't bring himself to kill. It encapsulates Itachi's character very well, and it also expands upon what Sasuke will become in the future and eventually how he will change. Now, there are a couple of things I don't like about this fight, such as Sasuke losing his curse mark. I think he should have kept that one, and just losing Orochimaru would definitely be fine here. And also the entire I am sick, I am not in my fullest potential thing, not big fan of. Like, Itachi was playing a role from the beginning. You didn't have to give him a sickness to make him weaker so that Sasuke could quote-unquote beat him. Just make Itachi play the role of a not-so-powerful shinobi, a ninja Sasuke would be able to defeat fair and square, while Itachi is actually holding back the entire time. It actually takes a lot of talent and effort to hold back well enough in any given type of sport or fight and make it seem you are actually trying to win. So if Itachi wasn't sick, and if he was actually doing all those things by himself, making it seem Sasuke had the edge during a lot of the fight, and being able to lose in the end without Sasuke noticing anything weird about it, this would be even more of a statement for Itachi's talent and just shinobi prowess. The complete art of deception. But let's be real, Itachi's already a very good actor. I mean, when he is just screaming at Sasuke about he is destined to become the powerful Uchiha and the one who deserves to awaken the eternal Mangekyou Sharingan, saying that Sasuke is his spare light, and going for Sasuke's eyes, that was amazing acting by Itachi. He was used to being an actor and just playing the deceptive type. I mean, he was in the Akatsuki for years, spying on them for the Leaf Village. But this fight is just great. It finishes Itachi's character well, and actually, when Itachi comes back in the war arc, I like that. Unlike a couple of other Edo Tensei, such as Asuma, for example, like their return for no reason at all, they don't add anything in their return. Itachi coming back during the war arc, it makes a lot of sense, and it gives the character this final oomph moment with Sasuke when he says, "I will always love you." That's one of the most iconic battle scenes of the entire series. And the way Itachi makes it seem as though he's going to reach out and tap Sasuke's forehead in that final scene, but instead he hugs Sasuke and says that to him, is a subversion of expectations in the best way possible, because Itachi tapping Sasuke's forehead there would have been good. Yeah, it would have been iconic too. But Itachi actually hugging Sasuke that way was so much more emotional and just amazing that people always cry when they watch that scene. But leave it in the comments below, what was your favorite moment of this fight and what was the best fight in the Naruto series? Also, like this video to help me out with YouTube algorithms, subscribe to this channel as well, it also helps, and thank you so much for watching.